Hi everybody, welcome to my channel again. I definitely wanted to get back with you guys today to make this video. I've had a lot of people to contact me. Excuse me. I've had a lot of people to contact me regarding their CPC exam. Either they've taken the exam and failed it, or they're preparing for the exam. So I wanted to come on here and give you guys my personal story about passing my CPC exam. A lot of times when you see these coding videos, it's pretty much glorious. Everybody is talking about, oh my God, I'm making so much money. I love this career. It's so rewarding. And not so often do you see or hear people talking about their difficult experiences as a coder. So I just want to go ahead and just kind of, walk you through my experience. If you failed this exam before, this video is definitely for you. And if you are preparing for your exam, this video is definitely for you too. A lot of people often feel like this career may not be for them if they fail the exam and things like that. I've heard people say, well, maybe this isn't for me. I went through the class, I made all A's and B's, and when it was time for me to do the exam, I just couldn't pass it. That doesn't mean it's not for you. That means you have to study a little harder, figure out ways around the fact that you hadn't been passing, kind of see and figure out where you can start to kind of see what the issue is so you can fix it. So don't automatically go to the thought of this career is not for you. Everything doesn't fall in your lap, and it's not easy. So let me go ahead and get into my story about my journey to being a medical coder. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also hit that notification bell so as soon as I drop a video, you'll be the first one to see and to know. So I decided to get into coding, and this is so crazy. I'll tell you the actual story. So I've been in the healthcare field for maybe about, a little over 15 years. I started off as a certified pharmacy tech. That was me getting my feet wet in this field or whatever to kind of see. And I've had other jobs in between, and I always made my way back around to the medical field. So I knew that that's something that I definitely was going to do as a long-term career. So how I got into coding, I was working at a fertility center. And it was decent money. I was making good money on my previous careers. I was a patient care coordinator at the infertility center. And previously, before then, I was in college admissions. I would be the admissions counselor to help you pick your classes, to see how many classes you need to graduate, to help you enroll, pick a program. That was my job for a long time. I did that for about 5 years. So after I did that, my last job, I was working at a school in Atlanta, because that's why I ended up moving to Atlanta to work at a school. So the last school I worked in, that's what made me decide to get back into the medical field, because I decided, this is cool money, but I want to get back around to the medical field, something administrative. I knew I didn't want to do any clinical work, any nursing, anything like that. And actually, I thought about nursing. And then once I looked at the figures when it was compared to nursing and when it compared to coding, then actually coders could have the possibility of making more money if they don't already make more money. And it's less stress as far as making sure you keep your patient alive. So I didn't want that hassle, or I won't say hassle, I didn't want that responsibility, for the same amount of pay where I can sit behind a desk and get some more money as well. So how I got into coding. So I'm working at the fertility center, and for some reason, I could never get over the $40,000 hump. And we all know $40,000 is basically $20 an hour. So with all my jobs, at the most at that time, I made like 21 and some change, which is decent, which is good, but it wasn't enough for me. It's just, I knew I always wanted a career where I would make really good money. Not that I'm materialistic or things like that, but I just like to be comfortable. And that's what it takes to live in our society. It takes money to be comfortable, just to be real. And also, being financially stable gives you a different sense of freedom. So anyway, so I'm working at the fertility center. I'm thinking like I got to make a move. I got to make a next step. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I was going to look into going to school for my master's degree. And then I, talked to a couple of my friends, did some research, and of course, and I'm thinking to myself, even with a master's degree, it just really depends on how much money I'm still going to make after I take out another student loan to pay for this master's degree. So I'm just going to sit on this idea. That's kind of like the last resort or whatever, but I'm really leaning toward getting my master's degree. So then I was, kind of just talking to one of my good girlfriends one day. Actually, we have a mutual friend. And so we would get together, go to the Beyonce concerts or, go out of town or, things like that. So I hadn't talked to her in a while, and I don't know how we end up, just reaching back out and getting in touch. I would say it was by divine purpose. I definitely would say it was by divine and design purpose because I don't think anything happens by coincidence or chance. I really think that everything that happens in our lives, it happens for a reason. Whether the reason is to teach us a lesson later on, or whether that lesson that we learned was for someone else to help them in their journey later on. But I think everything happens for a reason. So we ended up linking back up. I can't remember exactly what happened. So I was just telling her, yeah, girl, I need some more money. Not even thinking about what she does or anything like that. I'm just like, girl, yeah, I need to, go back to school or do something. And she was like, have you thought about medical coding? And so I was like, girl, no, I ain't thought about no coding. I need some real money. Like, no. And she was like, I don't know what you thought about coding, but let me tell you something. Let me put you on some game. She showed me her social security statements. Right now you can go on the SSA.gov, which is the Social Security Administration website, and it'll show you how much money you've made every year since you've been working on your first job. And it'll also tell you like how much money you'll get if you become disabled now, and how much money you'll get in Social Security when you retire. So she was about to start getting disability because she has a terminal disease, which she has an autoimmune disease, and it affects her really bad. So she wanted to kind of go out, stop working or things like that. And so she just showed me her statement. It was like, let me show you what coding is about. And I will not lie to you guys. I will not. You see, I'm a certified coder now. You see my shirt, medical coder. I'm proud. These are the ingredients. Okay. So she showed me her statement, and it went from her very first job into the year, which was like, I think that last year it was like 2015 or something like that. When, we was talking about it. So I'm looking at her salary increase from like $20,000, $32,000, $38,000. And that's when she was working her little jobs, and then she started getting into coding. Then once she got certified, her salary had peaked at $212,000. I was sold. I was absolutely sold. That very day, I started researching medical coding. I started researching the steps, the salary, doing free courses online to see if this is something that I would be interested in doing. Now, don't get me wrong. I just wasn't going to hop into anything because I saw her salary and I saw her money, because it might not work for me. But as soon as I got the information on a possible career path, I automatically jumped on it and got all of the information and researched it to see if this was for me. And once I researched it, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. And then I took a look. I was like, she does have a big, beautiful home, things like that. And, we always flying all over the country and going to all these concerts and things. I'm like, okay, Misty does well for herself. I'm going to look into coding. Looked into it, and I was like, sold. But this is what really sold me on it. When I found out that you can use your books for the national exam, I was absolutely sold. So you mean to tell me I can make all this money, have a professional career, and I can use my books to pass the test, sign me up immediately. So in my mind, it was going to be easy. It's a breeze. Keep in mind, all through high school, college, things like that, I'm used to making A's, B's, things like that. So I'm just knowing that this coding thing is going to be a breeze. And wrong. Again, this is the purpose of this video, so I can tell you about my personal coding journey. Because a lot of people get into this career or start doing this and they have the wrong concept. Don't get me wrong, very rewarding, professionally rewarding. It's lucrative financially wise, but I will tell you the real. Coding courses and coding in real life is totally different. And one of the major differences are when you're coding in classes, you have multiple choice. You have whether it's A, B, C, or D after you read a medical chart. When you're coding for a practice and when you're coding in real life, you do not have multiple choice. You have to read that coding, you have to read that encounter in that chart, and it's up to you as the certified coder to pick the appropriate codes for that encounter without any hints, any clues, or anything like that. So let me jump into me taking the exam. So I took the coding course through the AAPC, passed, of course, and it was a little challenging for me, just all of the guidelines, the rules, and remember the primary code. This code has to be coded first, and this code has to go secondary. And so it was a lot of things for me to retain. Truth be told, it was more challenging for me than any one of my college courses I've ever taken. And I have a degree in psychology with a minor in history and healthcare. So, and this is coding. And so again, it's nothing that you can't do. You can absolutely do it. You have to be focused, determined, and you have to make those sacrifices. So, keep in mind, I'm sold because I can use my book. Automatically sold. How hard can this be? I'm a person that can pass the exam anyway. Breeze through the coding course, through the AAPC. Okay, bam, it's time. I'm ready for my exam. That's how I'm feeling. That's why I'm giving you the energy, because I was excited. I'm almost to the finish line. So let's go the rest of the way. Took the coding exam, very confident. And of course it's an hour. It's 150 questions, and it is 5 hours and 40 minutes that you have to complete the exam. Now, if you complete it sooner, you can get up and walk out. But they give you 5 hours and 40 minutes. So my thought was, it's not going to take this long to complete 150 questions, and I can use my book. Wrong. So I'll tell you what happened. So I took the first exam, and I'm saying first, there were many to come after that. So do not get discouraged if you failed your exam. I failed before. Look at me now, I'm here. So I took the first exam. I am checking the online, and now at this point, when I took my exam, of course, they wasn't offering online exams or anything like that, so I did it in person. And I think they're offering the online exams now due to the COVID and the just changes around the globe, and so they're adjusting. So I am checking online every day. I'm looking for my scores, and it gives you this tedious process to grading your scores. So first, when you check, it might have a bubble that says in transit. So that lets me know that my scores are getting mailed to the headquarters for grading. So then after it goes from in transit, it goes to possibly received. Yeah, that's what it was, received. Then you wait a few more days after it was received, then it's being graded. So I am about to absolutely pull my hair out. I'm like, look, why do you have to just take me? Just tell me you got it and then pop up with a grade. You telling me it's in transit, it's coming, it's arrived, and we're grading it. Look, just give me please, give me my score. So I'm already anxious. I'm checking every day. I'm getting online on the app. I'm checking every day. I get my scores back. I failed by a few points. You hear me? I failed. Failed. I failed by a few points. So now I'm like, oh my God, I failed the exam. But I wasn't that discouraged because I only failed by a few points. So it let me know, like, maybe if I had answered one more question right or something like that, I would have passed. Don't quote me on this, but I think it's accurate. If it's not, it's around the number. But out of the 150 questions, I think you have to get like 75 to 100 of them right. Don't quote me on it. I'll go and check it, and then I'll, put it in the description box about how many questions you have to answer appropriately. But there's 150 questions on there, and you have to make a 70%. So you can also do the percentage wise as well, and you'll be able to know how many you have to answer or get right. So I took the exam maybe like in the first time I took it in it was in April. So I took the exam, I failed it by a few points, and I'm like, nope, gotta take this again. And that's another thing. If you fail the exam the first time, a lot of people will take these trade programs, and then when it's time to take the exam, you fail it and then you just quit. So now you got a student loan. Fortunately, of course, dealing with the AAPC, they don't deal with student loans. But let's just say you went to a billing and coding program at a trade school. So now you've taken out a student loan for a class you completed before a certification you don't have. Now you're not even working in the field, but you have a student loan that you have to pay back for something you're not using. So if you've taken this program from a trade school or through the AAPC, make sure you see the complete process all the way through and finish. Don't give up. Don't stop. Keep pushing and see it all the way through. So this was April. I failed my exam. I was a little disappointed, but not too much because I almost passed. So let's do it again. So October comes around. October is my birthday. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to schedule it right before my birthday, and then I'm going to get the results back. And this is going to be a perfect birthday gift for me. Okay. So I scheduled the exam. I go take the exam. I'm feeling confident. I have to give you the energy that I was feeling at this time. I have to give you this energy for this part of the story. So, and if you've been looking at my channel and if you saw a lot of my videos, you've heard me mention this story. But now I'm just going all the way in into like every intricate detail. So I get my scores back, I take the exam, scheduled in October, right before my birthday. I take the exam. I'm feeling extremely confident. I'm not second guessing if I fail the exam. I know I've studied from April to October. I'm ready. I don't recommend you guys take that long of a space before you schedule your exam. I was just doing a lot of things at the time, working a lot, doing a lot of, my side businesses and things like that. So I spaced it out. But I recommend you take it while it's still fresh on your mind. So get my results back, and I'm like, yes, I passed. I know I got it. I'm almost feeling like I made 100 on the coding exam because I just know I passed. I get the results, and it says 0. Zero. Okay. So you wondering, how did I get a 0? Because I was wondering too. Because I was like, you're not going to tell me that I got all of the answers wrong on the test. Now, I know I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'm not a butter knife either. I'm not the butter knife. I might not be the machete, but I'm not the butter knife. So I immediately, go to call the AAPC because I need some answers. This got to be a mistake. Did y'all switch my test? Or, you know how they switch babies at the hospital? Did you switch my test with somebody who actually made the 0? So what happened? So I called the AAPC. I'm just confident because I knew I passed, remember. So I'm like, yeah, we got to get this discrepancy fixed. I need to get my certification mail. Okay, let me know what's going on. I'm almost cocky because who can make a 0? I mean, you didn't get anything right. I know. I have that much confidence in myself. So she has me on hold for a while. So that has me even more like, Okay, it's taking her a long time, so I know I passed it. She must have found a discrepancy. This lady proceeds to get back on the line with me and tell me, yes, ma'am, that's correct. You made a 0. Who? Me? The coding coach? You know what I'm saying? I made a 0. So she's like, yeah. So I'm like, no, what's going on? And guess what happened, you guys? Don't laugh at me. Don't call me goofy, crazy, or whatever. Listen, that test will stress you out. That's why I'm here making this video, to let you know, do not let that test stress you out beyond your control. Do not do it. Don't be a me. So I was so stressed. And then at the job I was working, I had a raise that was pending, a $3 raise that was pending upon my certification. So, you know, I'm anxious and I'm giddy about these extra $3 I'm gonna be getting. I'm gonna have a new career. I'm about to be certified. So I was anxious going into that test. I was nervous. It was like my life depended on, you know, the pass or fail of this test. So I went in and, you know, I just was very anxious and nervous. Guess what I did? I'm almost ashamed to tell you what I did. But that's how, you know, sometimes the things you go through is bigger than you. Because the story, I'm telling you now, what I went through, it wasn't for me. It was for your motivation, so you wouldn't give up when you fail. So I can tell you this very same story that kept me going, that can keep you going. So what I did was, I answered all of the questions in the book. They do not keep the book. And they knew that I put all the answers in the book, and it triggered my mind, and I did too. When you come in for the AAPC exam, you have to sign in what time you get there. And whatever time you leave, you have to sign out what time you leave. So they saw that I was there for the entire 5 hours and 40 minutes. They saw I was there. So what I did, like I said, was I put all of the answers in the Scantron. All of the answers in the book. None on the Scantron. And that's how I made a 0, because nothing was on the Scantron but my name. So that's how they knew who to give the 0 to. So of course I passed out. I got up, I passed out, I punched the air, I cried, I knocked stuff down, I punched the air again. Somebody probably had to give me CPR about 9 or 10 times, because I was out, I was over. It was a 0. That was devastating. But you know what? I scheduled it again. Yes, I did, because I was not going to give up. I did not come that far for me to give up on the exam, and you did not either. You did not come this far to give up because you failed, to give up because you can't find a babysitter, to give up because it's Corona, to give up because of the family dynamics of your situation change. You've come too far to give up, and this story is for you. So I scheduled the test again for December, which was approximately maybe like a month away at this point. So I went ahead and I scheduled the exam, and I passed. I passed with flying colors, like I knew I did the second time in the book, though. So I wanted to share this story with you guys to give you a little motivation as you're on your journey. Don't give up. Keep pushing. Be inspired to know that nothing is easy. And if it was easy, then everybody will be having it and everybody will be doing it. So run your own pace and don't give up. I hope you guys like this story. I guess I'll call this story time. Coding story time. I guess a new corner. But I hope you guys enjoyed this inspirational, motivational story for you. Don't give up on your coding dream. It's very well worth it once you're done. Thank you so much for joining the channel. Thanks for supporting me as well. And don't forget to like, to comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining. Bye.